Alright, how's it going everybody? So my name is Lockhart. I did this video already once before, but I wasn't quite happy with it. So I'm doing it again. I'm going to introduce a little bit about me. I've played video games for a long time, going back to Nintendo. First gacha games that I really started getting into and played seriously were probably Final Fantasy Record Keeper, Seven Knights 1 for a really long time, Brave Frontier I tried as well. Eventually I moved on to FFBE. And then DFFOO, I had DFO for a long time. I still play. And now, right now, my main games are DFO, WOTV, which is World of Visions, Honkai Star Rail, Aethergazer, which is I'm kind of trialing it, FFBE, which I now play for fun, and Higen Uruthiro, and that's just for fun as well. I stream mostly, and now I like to start sharing my thoughts on games that I've played for a while. Just mostly because, you know, after playing it for such a long time and then kind of bouncing to other games, I found that, you know, there are things that I like personally. So, of course, most of this is going to be based on my own opinion, so please don't take it too seriously. It's just things that I like, and I kind of just want to spread the love. You know, I'm a huge Final Fantasy nerd, so a big disclaimer, this is definitely probably going to be a little biased. Okay, so, give you guys an idea, I'm over 1,000 days played on this game so far. I did take a bit of a hiatus. I'll go back to why. But right now, let's get into it. So, some of the things that I like are the story, the characters, of course, PvP, what they've improved since day one as well. Shows that Gumi is listening despite their own reputation. And I'm going to take you through some of the attacks and through some of the things that I like. So far. So, you know, I put down a team together. I have Sephiroth, I have Delita, I have 2B, Gilgamesh, which is the FFBE representative, and then Colonel Mustang, who's also going to be from the collab that just passed. I put some of them together because some of these are characters that I haven't played in video games, or I love their rendition, or, you know, they were like kind of playable but not really. So we're gonna start with Sephiroth's attack here. He's gonna attack himself, but again, this is mostly to showcase how the game has taken, you know, a character that's not in the FFPE WOTV universe and made it their own. Like, honestly, I just love it. I think it's so badass. Even the pose. If you guys have watched FMA Brotherhood, especially, you'll kind of get like you'll kind of really feel the impact on this one. Again, this one is more like taking someone that's not in this universe at all, again, and adapting it over. We'll take a closer look at Gilgamesh, hopefully, if I remember, but he is by far my favorite rendition of Gilgamesh. I think that they did such a great version on him. The story that he tells in this game is absolutely incredible. His design is just amazing. I think that of all the Gilgameshes that have kind of existed throughout all of the Final Fantasies, this is bar none my favorite. They make him so cool, and as you play the game, his character evolves too. Super cool. Like, it is just badass. And now you have someone who's, you know, 2B from the Nier collab. This is, you know, a character that, like, all these characters obviously exist within the Square Enix universe. Super nice. And they all have, like, attacks and skills and stuff too. So Delita is personally one of my favorites. I've always wanted to play with him, especially when he goes he becomes more of like a, oh gosh, I can't remember the term now, but he becomes like a holy knight. Some of the characters in the collabs have yet to be voiced because they don't have them or they couldn't find them. I don't know. But most of the characters have been voiced, and it's actually, it brings them to life. So let's just finish off this last guy. We'll go with something like this so we get some multi-attack. So Final Fantasy Tactics is definitely one of my favorite games, so there's a big nostalgia factor for this. And the character designs and being able to play the characters almost reimagined, you know, going from the sprites going to this is a big jump. And staying true to the Final Fantasy Tactics art that used to be in the strategy guides, I want to say, is amazing. I love it because, so I'm going to go to Ramza really quickly. I love it because they stick to it pretty well without like you know, making it a little too silly. So like, you know, this is from the book, this is like basically from the cover of the strategy guide, and they do an awesome job. And he has a limit break too, and there are so many collabs. Like we are sitting at well over 13 collabs right now, a lot of Final Fantasy collabs, as well as games from Square Enix. You have characters from Dragon Quest, you have Lara Croft, who's in it from Tomb Raider, and her design in this game I absolutely love. Like, again, you know, Lara Croft is very distinct in how she looks, especially with all the games that have come out, and this version of her, you know, I can't say I hate it. I think it looks great. And then they do other like cool things. So they do renditions of characters as well. So you have winter, summer, Valentine's, and Halloween themed units as well. So, you know, I'll give you like one idea. So this is like a Halloween version of a character from the WOTV universe. Her name is Leela. So like, just to give you an idea, this is like her, this is her original character art. And then you also get that, like, you know, that Halloween version as well. You also, let's go to, let's say, Aldira here. So Aldira, again, one of like the regular characters from the game itself, and she also has a Valentine's Day outfit. And you know, it's not just a skin; it's a complete class change, and they also have sub jobs that are not the same as well. So the characters interact completely differently with your roster. This version of Aldira is fire. The original is water. She's a arithmetician, which is like, you know, a calculator in Final Fantasy Tactics. And the way they play is like completely opposites. And they also do something nice where you occasionally get to vote for a character that you'd like to see get remade. So JP picked Glaciella, and so they made this like Glaciella Regalia version. I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty happy that Global picked Zazan, and that's because Zazan was my first character ever that I took to level 99. He's not even that great. It was just something that I ended up doing. And he's a free character, and he's easy to build. And then we did another poll, and we got to do Shadow Lynx. So, you know, she got a second rendition. All these characters are special. They come with costs, and that's a part of what kind of adds additional elements to the game beyond, you know, the elements in the game. So let's go on to the next portion, which is going to be your story progression. The story, the main storyline is huge. Okay, so right now we're at 3 parts. Part 3 is what we're currently on. We have 2 full parts before this. Each of them basically come with 12 chapters. Each chapter comes with 3 scenes. Each scene comes with 3 battles. I didn't do the math, but it's a lot, right? And you can also always click on some portions here and kind of like get a really good idea of like what's happening, and what it's about and what it's taking place in. I love the story because I enjoyed Final Fantasy Tactics a lot, and I liked the way that it was told. It was very Shakespearean. You know, there's a lot of portrayal. There are characters who, you know, you're gonna fall in love with, and then it's just like, don't fall in love too much. And they're not afraid to kind of like really do that, you know, like get them in and then get them out. And you can always rewatch all of the story that you may or may not have missed. So there's, you know, I like it. Like I'm not a huge lore person per se, but I love the storytelling for this game so far. And then it's the world building on top of it. So you have your main story, and then you have your sub stories that kind of like add to the game. So you have these 2 side stories right now. You have a Warriors of the Crystal, which is complete, and now we're on to the second version of another story. And these are it's almost like a spin-off that interacts with the main game in the game. So it's like a side game in the game, you know, and it's a full game. Like, it comes with a roster, it comes with characters that will have their own banners, and they're very unique to the story, and you want to pull for them because, like, as you kind of go through the story, you're like, oh man, this person's so cool, or this person's so funny, and you kind of like, it's very hard for you to not want to pull because you like them. And that's a gacha game, you know, you have your favorite characters, you should want to get them. This one comes with a free UR unit, and he's pretty good. And right now he's going on to his 140. Right now you can see there's a lot of Final Fantasy VI stuff, one of my personal favorites, and it's good. It comes with, like, each character comes with their weapons. You can always test out new characters as well, and even if you miss a side story that came out, we have keys that will unlock each of these stories, so you can always play them again. A lot of these initially came out not voiced, and now they do have voice acting in them. I can't tell you, unfortunately, which ones are voice acted and which ones are not, but honestly, it's all worth building. Some of this is like awesome. Like, this one here is actually a blast in the past. And you get to see a lot of the main characters in their younger selves. I would recommend going through this as well, mostly because you get rewards, and it is a bunch of like 10 battles in each of these stories, and you also have access to free characters that you could do here as well. So content wise, story wise, so much of it, world building is massive. I would say if there was anything that I would want, is that so it's not here, but in FMA, the characters from the FMA anime interacted with the world of characters, which I just loved. And same with Dragon Quest, like some interaction, some cross blending, and it was hilarious and it was cool, and I enjoyed that a lot, and I wish they did that with every single collab that we did, because we're 13 collabs in, we're going into 3 years anniversary soon, so there's a lot of opportunity, you know. Like, it would have been cool to see like Final Fantasy Tactics characters interacting with your World of Universe. I mean, you know, Gumi, if you want to do it, get on it. I ain't gonna hate it. I'm gonna play the shit out of that. So that's kind of it. You have your, like, you know, I think story-wise, world building, that kind of encompasses it. If I missed something, let me know. You know, talk about it, chat it up. And the other part I like is also the events. So, sorry. I guess technically here would be a part of the events, like, you know, like things like this, things that come with collabs. These are all events. The event quest comes with like some of these stages will have cool things where you do fight like enemies from that game. So when the Final Fantasy VII collab came out, you did fight some of the units from the remake, and it was cool because like they don't exist in this universe, but then you're going to like one of the Shinra factories and you're fighting units there. And then same with FMA, you were fighting like characters, well, I guess character humans from like the universe, and it's just nice to see because again, you want that blend. They come with item quests, stuff like that, but then you also have additional ones. So the Porcelain Tower, unfortunately, it's not open, but this is like a tower climb. So right now, I think we're at 100 floors, and you basically just use your entire roster, build as many teams as you want, and kind of chuck them at the tower. If you're lazy, you could manual play it as well, but I feel like at that point it's like quite a bit, and at 100 floors, it's just a lot. So normally you would just put like easy teams together and just really just beat it down until there's nothing left. And then you also have raids. Raids can be multiplayer, raids can be individual. You can technically solo a raid. If it's a raid rerun, same thing, you could solo, but depends on, like, with a regular raid, you could do up to 4 characters. With a raid rerun, you can only do 1 character when it comes to soloing. And one of the newest things we have is legendary reliquaries, I think is how you say it. And this is endgame stuff. It's really hard content. You actually do kind of have to, you do get to put 2 teams together. This is the first one I've cleared so far. And this is like the team that I use, but you go from the first wave all the way to 10th wave, and there is like a turn cap as well. You can't just use these characters for as long as you can. You only have 60 turns per group, and ideally you beat the entire thing. So not one of the easiest contents to auto, but I mean, it's fun. Like, it's something for you to do. Like, you know, you build all of these strong teams, and it's kind of like, okay, well, now what do you do with them? And it's like, here you go. You get a chance at getting some incredible items, but you do have to work for it. And at least it comes with, again, more story. I know I'm beating a dead horse here. Selection quests, I know, is a big love-hate relationship for a lot of people. This is also endgame content, and all these characters here are UR characters, and each of these quests will allow you to get the character, get the materials to level them up, and get some of their unique equipment too. So some of these have, so let's say this one. So Camilo here, you get him, and then you get his spear, and then you can upgrade his spear to the max level, which is +6. And when you +6 his spear, he gets like additional effects on the spear that make it stronger and make it like make him a better unit. There we go. I've done all of them character wise, and item wise I'm kind of making my way up. I haven't +6'd every item or gotten the materials to do it, but the unique thing that I like about it is that, like, you cannot use your normal roster to do it. So let's say, so this is one of the ones that I have to do the very last battle for in order to get all the materials that I need for a +6 special item for him. But you can only use your MR units, and MR units are not the strongest units, so you do have to, like, you know, you can finesse it, or you're like me, you like level them up as much as possible so you can brute force it, because maybe you're not the most skilled person out there. But it's awesome because, like, your roster's so big that, like, you know, sometimes you're not going to have reasons to use all of these characters, and selection quest is a great way for you to utilize your MR characters that basically sit there and do nothing for the majority of the game until you get to around here. And or if you get into when we do PvP events where it's cost limited. So the past one, I don't know if I can get into it just to see. Maybe I can build a party in it. Perfect. So the last one had a cost limit of, and this one was for units. Sometimes it's for units and vision cards and espers. It's all encompassing. But this one was just a unit one. And so it was only 230, meaning that, like, you had to use, because each character has a cost limit, meaning that you couldn't just use 3 100 cost units, which are really strong. You have to kind of finesse it and be within that cost limit. So sometimes it's like this, where you have a bunch of UR units that are very low in cost, and then sometimes you have higher cost units, but you have to, you know, you have to slap an MR unit in there because, like, they cost a lot less, right? So those are kind of, I think, great ways that utilize your entire roster, and also just have that mix of events that keep you well entertained and be able to keep you engaged into the game. Because, again, this is my main game and I enjoy it a lot, and there's always something to do, so I'm not oftentimes putting it down. I don't think personally, from what I get from the game in terms of what I love, will I ever just let it go, you know? And so I'm just going to get into the last bit of it that I enjoy a lot. And it's like the PvP team building. So I kind of went through it a little bit, you know, with the cost limit portions of it. But in the PvP rankings, this is all auto. Whereas cost limit, you can play live and it's manual 1v1. And this is where like I like to build like and use characters that I maybe wouldn't use too often, and it's because like sometimes the map changes and sometimes the bonus of the units change too. Right now, as you can see here, everything is acquired, and here nothing is acquired because we have Kefka, who just came out. And you know what, I'm gonna do a poll at the end of the video because I'm feeling lucky. And and these characters are permanent, so they will always come back, and they're always pullable at a lower rate, whereas limited characters you have to wait quite a bit. So I have like all of these, so that means that like, you know, sometimes I might change the team composition based on what the bonus is, based on what the map is as well, because at the beginning here you can see that this is the map, and you can see that this is like some of the buffs that come with the map too, right? So like it's basically saying use light / units because you're gonna get those benefits. There are no lights units that are within the 75%, so I'll probably sub out one of these characters, and oftentimes I'll have like 2 carry characters and 1 character that's like kind of doing, you know, whatever. So I'll just do it really quickly, just you know, hopefully not fall on my face here. Right now Fire is very into evade teams, but we have Mustang here, who is magic, and I have Celeste, who is a rune knight. And if you know rune knights, they're basically magic tanks, and she has her rune blade ability, which will soak up an attack if she gets hit, so it's like awesome to see. Loading times are not too bad, and you can always skip arena matches, so you could hit 5 arena matches pretty fast. This one looks like there's a lot going on because it's taking a little bit longer to load. Also because I'm using an emulator. And I have not a lot of faith in the emulators, unfortunately. But it's alright. I have Warrior of Crystal, Astrius, Celeste, and I have a... I don't remember her name. Amnelis. And she's a magic unit. So I'm going to speed this up just a smidge. Whoops. Get that to 2 times. And we're going up against Mustang, King Mont, and Pissarro. Pissarro is from Dragon Quest. They do a great job, again, you know, really keeping all of the source material as accurate as possible and then translating it into the WOTV universe. I actually don't know how this is gonna go. Celeste is a tank overall, like I have a well tanky. Pissarro is an evade unit, and we've had dodges twice now. That's kind of rough. First. Ooh, is that a dead? Nope, she's got courage, so she's still alive. And now she's dead. For sure. Alright, Astrius is a really strong unit. I say that, but I don't know. Oh, and he got countered. Oh, and he did his heal. So that's unit. Wow, Celeste can't hit the side of a barn because she is missing everything. So even though I tried to counter element, it seems like I'm falling flat on my face. I think I might have to rethink. I'm going to have to rethink that Kefka pull. So anyway, you get the gist of it. I definitely tanked on this one. 1997. Oh, good year. Yeah. Wow. I'm not going to even edit that out because you know what? That's just reality, guys. So it's fun. So, you know, like there was a fire team. I went with my water team to hopefully get a bit of an advantage there. I see a wind team here. Am I gonna try to redeem myself? I might try to redeem myself because Gilgamesh is a part of it and I don't use him too often. Again, fun stuff. I do like the PvP portion. It's super fast, super easy. I am mostly auto, and that's because you can always tweak the skills. So each skill is adjustable. You can either turn off the skill entirely or just make sure the skill is used for quests only or multis only or PvP only. So there's a lot of AI customization. I know I'm going to skip this because I just want to make sure I win. Perfect. Excellent. Let's get it on. That is kind of it in a nutshell in terms of what I personally really love about the game and what keeps me going, what I have found very enjoyable with it. Honestly, there has been a lot of quality of life changes that really make it a lot easier for anybody to play the game. The entry to the game is definitely not as crazy as it used to be. So when you get a character, so I'm just gonna, God, I'm supposed to do a review video here, and this is already turning into such a mess. Oh, it's a gold book though. Oh my God, is this going to be? Oh, and it's a unit too. All right. Okay. Okay. Guys, I'm holding my breath here. But so if I get Kefka, it'll be very interesting to explain how that works in terms of leveling up characters. You do get soul stars. I mean, whether I get him or I don't, I'm gonna walk through it anyway. But you know, Gumi, I'm wearing my FFBE t-shirt, so like, you know, bless me today, please. Oh God. What a flop! Okay, anyway. Oh boy. Anyway, so once you... Oh, in this scenario, I do get like coins and stuff. So one thing that happened at the beginning of the game, and this is why I quit, was because it was super unforgiving. There were no ways of redemption, so rerolling was insane at the early portions of this game. But now you have a guaranteed pity system almost every time, I would say. You know, I'm at 13 pulls. If I do 7 more pulls and I don't get him, I can get Kefka here. If I get him on my last pull that would have been pity, I'll have those 200 coins that I can basically use to get all of his shards. You can farm shards in 2 ways. The Chocobo no, 2 ways. There's a lot of ways. You can use the Chocobo Expedition. The Chocobo Expeditions will give you unit shards as well for any characters that are either event characters, collabs, or even elements, because you can always swap where your expedition party goes to the element for the character you're looking for. If you go to your guild, which, by the way, shamelessly, I will admit that we have spot for 6 people. We are super casual, and we do pretty well for ourselves. Anyway, you can always farm shards here. You give barracks some food, and then over time, every time this counts down to 0, you get a shard. Once you get to 99, you do have to start getting their memory spheres, and then those will go towards putting them to 120. If I get Kefka, I will also get the opportunity to get more shards going through his challenge mission, which every event character has. Reagan has his. I didn't get Reagan, obviously, but hopefully I'll get Kefka. One way or the other, I'll get Kefka, and I'll be able to get a bunch of free shards here. And before I even go there, usually I'll hop down to where the soul stars are. Once you get to... And the soul stars are something you get from pulling every time, which I should have showed you earlier. But if I get Kefka, his face will pop here, and I can pull for his soul stars here. And it'll be super easy breezy. Normally you pull until you get about 100 of the shards, because anything beyond that is kind of lost in value. You kind of lose a lot of money. And then these are the mind spheres here. I've already kind of max pulled for Final Fantasy VI because all the characters share mind spheres, but because I only have Kefka left, technically I only need 400 to get him to 120, and then I need to get him to get him to 140, I need another 120 of his Mind Spheres. But generously, you can actually sub out Mind Spheres for a universal one, I want to call it. So you can use this instead. So you see that for Velas, I only have 8, but I can sub in 120, 112 to make that 120 over here. Or I could just use this entirely, right? And even if I was low on this, I can actually break down some of extra units here. They all have shards that I can convert into the universal one, or the transcendent Mind Sphere that applies to everybody, and be able to use it for any characters that I want to take to 120. And that is one of many quality of life changes that have made playing this game a lot easier. I know players who start out are going to get a lot of run, because they do get a lot of free level 99 characters, level 120 characters, pre-purchase stuff, all those things. But if there was a time to join, right now it is the Final Fantasy VI event as of yesterday, so it is totally worth it. I would highly recommend. I love this game. If you're big into story, you're gonna have a lot of fun with it. One thing I will do very quickly is just go over here, and they do have special movies, which are amazing. The animated trailer was really fun to see, so I'm just going to end off on basically playing this video. I hope you've liked the stuff that I talked about. Hopefully this gives you some insight into whether or not you want to give the game a go. I think it's worth it. Please find my guild if you're gonna play all the time. You know, I need it. I need the help. We need the help, boys and girls and anybody else. So you know, hop on, see what you like. Totally worth it. They're always gonna run new collabs. The next one that's coming up is Final Fantasy V, which is amazing. So totally worth your time. That's it for me. Like and subscribe. Honestly, anything to do with comments, just put it down at the bottom, and just let me know. Thanks so much. Have a good one.